All right, this is it. My name's Jeff K, and you're listening to episode 424 of the world-famous West Virginia Surf Report podcast.
Hello, world.
I'm starving. I'm hungry. I was sitting up there in a chair, looking at my phone. Tony goes, "Do something. You need to start moving. You know, this day's going to get away from you, and you're going to be bitching later that you didn't get anything done. Now is the time. Both kids are out of the house. If you have to, whatever you need to do, now would be the time to do it." So I said, "Okay, well, I'm starving." She goes, "Well, then eat." I said, "But I need to record a podcast." She said, "Well, go record a podcast." I said, "But which should I do first?" She goes, "My God, just pick. That's your decision, not mine." I said, "Well, if I eat first, for some reason when I eat, it makes my stomach, my stomach's growling. It seems counterintuitive." But it's better to do the podcast hungry, because then my stomach's not going wow. But then if I eat something, it does that. But then if I put the eating to the second, behind the podcast, it's going to be close to dinner, and then I might not be hungry for, what I'm saying? There's logistics that you have to. She goes, "Just pick one. Just do what you." So I'm recording the podcast first, but I'm starving, by the way. It's 20 till 3, quarter till 3 on a Saturday as I record this, and I haven't done jack shit today. I haven't eaten, drank some coffee. That's about all I've done, I don't know. I have to ease into the day. My alarm went off at 10, so I've been up, 5 hours? God. I should feel shame. I do feel shame. I feel shame every day. As soon as I wake up, the first thing I feel, as soon as I wake up, I wake up to a new day, shame. That's the first thing, But anyway, today I was going to talk about gym classes that some stories from gym class. I'm not gonna belabor the point, because I think I've told a lot of these stories before, but I thought I'd put them all in one place. And I'm hoping that you guys will call in with gym class stories as well. I feel like everybody has gym class stories, because gym class is where a lot of stuff happens. Stuff that's, in my case, none of it's very positive, So I hope you can call into the hotline. I'll give you the number, 570-290-8151. Call in with your gym class stories. So my earliest one that's worth talking about is in grade school. We had to go down to the multi-purpose room, as they called it, Dunbar Elementary. The multi-purpose room. It was the gym. It was where they did assemblies, and where it was a cafeteria. So that's hence the name multi-purpose room. It had multiple purposes. So, we went down there. I don't know. They had us do all kinds of stupid shit, Sometimes they'd have the parachute. Did you ever have to do that? They have this big parachute, and everybody stand in a circle and lift it up, raise it up, and run underneath there. And then it would crash down on you. And there was sometimes we'd have that big ball, that giant ball. I don't know what they call that. And but the one that I remember the most is they'd have a square dance. This is in grade school. This is in our world, grade school is 1st through 6th. They didn't have kindergarten. I'm really old, but they had kindergarten. I went to kindergarten, but it was it wasn't part of the school system. It was in the basement of a church. It wasn't religious. They just used, somebody did kindergarten, and they rented space from the church. You know what I'm saying? And my kindergarten teacher was named Mrs. Penn. But anyway, but in public school you didn't have kindergarten, at least not where I'm from. So it was 1st through 6th. That was grade school, and so they'd have us more than once square dance. I think we did it like several years in a row. This old guy from the neighborhood would come over there with his amplification equipment, and he would teach us how to square dance. He'd call the square dances, Yeah, how they get up there and give us directions like some kind of Hitler-like thing, just barking orders at us. Now do-si-do and all that shit. I don't even know. So that was terrible. You had to team up with a girl. And this is like, I don't know, 5th, 6th grade. And you had to pick a girl, or the girl would pick you. You'd have to pair up with somebody, and you'd have to dance. Like, what the? This is no good. I don't know how to dance, and I couldn't even look a girl in the eye. I mean, the whole thing was awkward. I used to dance with this girl for some reason. I don't know how this happened, but she was my standing dance partner, right? Every year, every time we did it. And she had red hair. She was nice. I don't know what was going on there. I feel like she must have been the one, because I didn't have the confidence or the to be the one, making sure that I probably just stood there and waited for somebody to approach me, But anyway, so we used to swing, like, it was all nonsense, like swing the girl around so hard that their feet would come off the ground. You know what I mean? You'd hook your arms, and then swing them around, but you'd swing them really hard so that the girl's legs were off the floor, And he'd be yelling at you. This guy's name was Boone Maxwell. He came in from, he was on my paper route. He was nice, but he was heavily into square dancing, and he went around to the schools. I think he was retired. I don't know. And he would go around to the various elementary schools and teach people how to square dance. And he'd be up there, and he had all this equipment that he brought in and records and stuff. He'd be playing records, and we didn't take it seriously. I mean, how could you, And I remember he left the room one time, and there was this kid named Keith. He went up there and grabbed the microphone while the guy was out of the room, and he started doing these, these calls, like the square dance calls. And he I remember one of them was swing your partner round and round, take it to the toilet, flush her down. And the other one was kind of, dirtier than that. It was like swing your partner up against the wall, stick it in, balls and all. And I was like, what the? Like and everybody be like roaring with laughter, And I was like, that thing confused me. Balls and all. I don't know. Is that the way it works? Because I don't know. I don't know how that works. I don't know how that works logistically. Very confusing. But anyway, that happened. I was in grade school. We also had plays in there, but that's not really about gym class. Oh, you know what else we did in elementary school? They had one of those ropes that hang from the ceiling. I could never do that. I mean, they'd have us try to climb the rope. And these guys, the athletes in the class, they'd climb all the way to the ceiling, which was really high. And then they'd start doing pull-ups on the rafters of the, I'm like, oh my God, somebody's going to fall. Somebody's going to die. Somebody's going to die today. It's like terrifying. I'd get like, I don't know, 3 feet off the floor and be like, I'm done. I can't go any higher. I couldn't do it. It was, for one thing, I'm afraid of heights. And another thing, have no arm strength, especially back in those days. I couldn't pull myself up. I couldn't do it. It was something that I couldn't do. A, I couldn't do it. B, couldn't give two shits. So, that's a combination that leads to I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. It's hard, and I don't care about it. That's a dangerous, dangerous combination. So that's grade school. In middle school, middle school, well, junior high for us. Junior high for us is 7 through 9. Or no, 7 through 9. Grades 7 through 9. Ninth grade is traditionally high school. Not in Dunbar, not back in those days. I don't know who set this stuff up, but the junior high school was grades 7, 8, and 9, right? That is the worst time. That is a terrible time in a person's life. I mean, everybody's in a hormonal upheaval. Everything's terrible, and most of the boys are just assholes, just dicks, It's just terrible. I got more fights. I got more fights in junior high than I've ever gotten in my entire life combined. If you take those 3 years out and add up the number of fights I was in, and then took the rest of my 59 years and added up, there was more in that 3 years than the other 59. It was just terrible. It was a pit of vipers. You walk in that school, everybody's running wild, And I saw somebody post on Facebook, I think. It was one of those Dunbar boards, Somebody said, junior high was the best years of my life. Like, what? How in the hell? It's the worst. It's horrible. It's horrible. Junior high was the best years of my life. What in the living, breathing shit is that? I mean, there's absolutely no way. It's the worst. So that was terrible. So I have multiple stories about that. There was this one kid. He was from England. I don't know how he ended up in Dunbar, West Virginia. He was a British kid. I think he had red hair too. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure, but he was British. He was British. I don't know how the hell he ended up in Dunbar. What? No. But anyway, he was a dick. I couldn't. He was always giving me crap about stuff. He gave everybody crap. He had this attitude of I am smarter than everybody else. I'm smarter than you bumpkins. I was not a fan of this guy. I don't know. I don't even know who he is. I can't remember his name. But I wasn't not a fan at all. And he gave me shit all the time. He's giving me a bunch of shit all the time. So we were playing volleyball one day. And again, who cares? I mean, these people are like getting into it. This is the most important thing in the. We are in the Super Bowl here. You're in a gym class in Dunbar, West Virginia. In 1970, whatever year it was, 77 or something. Who gives a shit? Nobody cares. It doesn't matter at all. How does any of this matter? But these people are so competitive. I couldn't give a crap, So we're playing volleyball, and I'm not good at any of this stuff. I'm not athletic, and I couldn't care less. It's a lethal combination. And so we're playing volleyball. I'm in the first row. I have to rotate and all that stuff. I'm in the front row. So the ball comes to me. I hit it into the net. I hit it into the netting. And this British kid starts yelling at me, saying all kinds of stuff. You're a piece of is yelling. I mean, just flipping out. Like he's in the Final Four. College basketball. You know what I mean? Like the whole world is riding on this stupid ass volleyball game in gym class. God. And he starts yelling, insulting me and stuff. I had the ball in my hand, and I just took it and I just threw it at him real hard in the face, hit him in the face with the thing, and blood squirted out of both nostrils. And I don't even know I can't even remember what happened after that. I think he like ran off, and he never messed with me anymore. That's the kind of shit. That's the kind of stuff you have to do. Unfortunately, I remember that. Happening. I remember they made us wrestle. I think I was in junior high. It might have been high school. I don't know. But there was this gym coach, I guess. He was all into wrestling, and he was always talking about how he loves wrestling, and wrestling's good for boys and all this stuff. And so I was like, what the? I don't want to get down on the floor with a couple of sweaty, and I don't want to do that. Roll around on the floor with some sweaty kid from my class. It's gross and stupid, But he was having us do that. I had to wrestle this kid named Ziggy. He's on the basketball team. He's on the basketball team in high school. They tried to pair us up basically by weight, and they put me in with Ziggy. I had to wrestle Ziggy, right? And I just went out there and basically laid down and let him pin me. Because I couldn't care less. And the guy's like, Jeff, you need to put a little bit of effort into this. Why? For what reason? How could I benefit from this? How will anybody benefit from me out there rolling around two sweaty junior high kids? Why? The whole thing makes me sick. Okay, so... But some of them, of course, they were all into it. This is very, very important, highly important wrestling, some guy. And there was this kid named Mike. His name was Mike Edens, I think. And he was wrestling with somebody, and they were really going at it. And something happened, and you could hear a loud snap. Like somebody took a tree branch and snapped it over their knee, and the thing was real loud, and he came up and he was holding his arm. He's like, oh, he's screaming, and his arm had another elbow in it suddenly, broke his arm. The thing snapped so loud like a tree branch. I was traumatized. I'm still traumatized by that. The thing was like, oh my God, that thing was disgusting, And they rushed him out of there. We also had to jump on the trampoline in junior high. Ugh. So they had this giant trampoline. They'd set it up every once in a while. And if you weren't up on the trampoline, you had to stand around the edge of it and be a spotter, as they called it, in case somebody flew off. Are you serious? If there's some kind of like some of those people get into it, like I say, everything, all this stuff. There was people like me who was resentful that they even had to do this stuff, and barely put any effort into it. And then there were other people who are super into it, and then there's a whole spectrum, right? And we had to stand around and in case somebody flew off. You'd have to try to stop them from hitting the floor. Are you serious? I'm not good. If somebody comes sailing my way, all elbows and knees, If somebody comes sailing my way, I'm stepping aside, and I'd probably get a bunch of crap for it, and I have to leave the town or something. He hit the floor. Now he's paralyzed. He's in a wheelchair, for life. And Jeff K, he just he just stepped aside and let him go flying. And then we had to leave. My parents have to, quit their jobs. We have to sell our house, move to a different town, But it was scary. Those guys would get on there sometimes and go flying way up in the air, do somersaults and stuff. They're like showboating on that thing. God, no way. And there was this kid named Timmy. Timmy is his name. And he was up doing that, doing flips and stuff. And he something went askew, and he landed on his face. He landed on his chin, basically. And he bit the tip of his tongue was between his teeth, it's between his upper teeth and bottom, up and down teeth. And he bit the tip of his tongue off. There was blood running down his face, looked like Gene Simmons, from Kiss. There's like blood pouring everywhere. He jumped down from the trampoline and ran outside, and he was just like spitting up blood out there. And the gym teacher's out there messing. I don't know. I think they took him to the hospital. I mean, the guy bit the end of his tongue off. It was ridiculous, That's, like, how's this fun? This is not fun. It's like traumatic. And then there was this kid. There's another kid who was an ass. Kids were assholes at that age. They're all a bunch of assholes. I mean, not all of them. A good percentage of them are assholes, just picking and just constantly just trying to make everybody's lives miserable. They're trying to show off for their friends. It's a terrible time of life, right? There was this kid named John, always giving me shit, always messing with me, trying to make my life miserable and doing a pretty good job of it. So we were in there one day, and there's a stupid ass game called Foursquare. Are you familiar with this? Like sometimes they just say they'd have these different activities. You could just pick one. You could play basketball, you can play volleyball, you can play Foursquare, you can play this, that. So I ran over there and I was going to play Foursquare, and I don't know. So there was an argument. I was in the position where you serve or whatever the hell. I don't remember how. I was in the lead position, and he comes over there. He goes, "That's my position." I say, "Get out of here." And he starts giving me a bunch of crap. He's yelling at me. "Get out of the way." He's like he's like a little shit. And he's always constantly messing with me, picking at me. So I'd had enough. Something snapped inside of me, and I punched him so hard, I swear I think his head went all the way around. I think it did one full rotation on his neck, I hit him harder than I've ever hit anybody in my life, before or after. And he was like blinking. I thought he was about ready to go down. And it was unbelievable. It sounded like something off Mannix, when people get hit on TV, and it makes this big loud smack. I hit him. I hit that guy so hard. I got in super big time trouble. The gym teacher, Coach Dye, yanks me, grabs me by the arm, takes me outside, and starts giving me a bunch of shit. He goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "He's a little asshole. He's always messing with me." He goes, "That's not the way you handle these." He's just giving me a bunch of crap, And I said, "Well, I'd do it again. Fuck him, I don't know if I said that, but that was my attitude. That was my general attitude about it. I said he had it coming, and I don't feel bad about it at all. So he takes me inside there. He goes, "Okay, we'll see about that." So he takes me back into the gym, and he blows his whistle, has everybody come over, including the girls, I might add, because the girls they had their gym class on the other side of the gym. They had these like partitions, like curtains that hang down. So they split the gym in half, and girls would be on one side, boys would be on. Called everybody over, stand in a semicircle, takes out this giant paddle, and smacks my ass with it multiple times in front of everybody. Everybody's there, like he did. He brought everybody over to witness this. So that was fantastic. Public humiliation, He calls everybody over, blows the whistle, Public sacrifice, public hanging, So I was irritated about that. I told my parents, and my mom was like fired up, man. She came down to the school. My mom, when I told her about that, my mom was like pissed about it, and she came down to the school and gave Coach Dye a bunch of crap. But I don't know. Nothing. I mean, he never apologized or anything. Like, nothing happened. She just went in there and gave him a bunch of crap about it. And that was that. So anyway, that guy never messed with me. So what you have to do is you have to punch somebody in the face. Either you have to throw a ball in their face and bust their nose, or you punch them so hard that their head goes all the way around, and they leave you alone. God, I had other altercations with people. I'm not the kind of guy. I'm not the kind of guy that. I'm not a bully or anything. I'm in no position to be a bully, and I don't want to have any trouble with anybody. And but in middle school or junior high, man, it was awful. It was like sink or swim. It was Lord of the Flies. It was terrible. I don't think it's like that anymore. They don't allow that shit to go on anymore. But also, speaking of humiliation and terribleness. There was also a rule that you had to take a shower in junior high school, like right when you're going through massive upheaval. Your body's going through all kinds of changes, and you're self-conscious, super self-conscious about everything, and you're surrounded by asshole boys, dicks, just vicious, the most vicious people in the world. Will say anything to hurt you. You know what I mean? They say, yeah, you're gonna have to get naked in front of these guys every day and get in the shower, and it's required. You don't have any choice in the matter. It's totally required, right? So this is happening. And I barely did. I wouldn't do. I did it because I had to sometimes, but it was terrible. Then I went in there and like get my hair wet. Sometimes I just go in there and take my shirt off and just get my hair wet, keep my shorts on, get my hair wet, and then I'd come out of there with a towel around me and be like, "Ooh, boy, I feel refreshed now." and I wouldn't do it. But there'd be people in there taking showers. Again, people that were into it. They were, I don't know what the hell's going on. Why in the world? People are in there like, la, la, do, da, dee, da, dee, like shampooing their hair and, and then there'd be like somebody be standing there taking a shower, and somebody would walk up behind them and start peeing on them. And then they throw a bar of soap like a Nolan Ryan fastball in the small of their back. It's just wild. There's people in there peeing. There's people in there just like flicking those wet towels, and the thing go kapow, like Zorro with his sword, It was terrible. I mean, it was awful, and you're naked. God, it's terrible. What the hell? What is that? What is going on? Why? How's that supposed to build character or anything? It just makes you traumatized for the rest of your life. There are people out in there standing, like, I don't know, how old are you in 7th grade? 13? It's cruel and unusual. Everybody's an asshole. The boys are just a bunch of assholes. You're 13, 14 years old, you got to be naked in front of them? God. I remember this kid was in there taking a leak at the urinal. I mean, he was dressed. He was in there taking a leak. I mean, everything was just crazy. He's in there taking a leak. Somebody comes up and just shoves him down, and his wiener retracted into his jeans, and he just pissed all down his pants. He had to go through the whole rest of the day with like piss pants. Like, it was terrible. I mean, that place is terrible. A pit of vipers. Junior high is awful. I didn't learn anything from that. It just made me, it's just something you endure. I guess. I mean, it's something. I mean, I don't know. Seems like there's a lot of people around that can't handle life. Maybe it helped me in that regard. because that was a terrible 3 years of my life. My God. And that's enough. There's some high school stories. I'm not going, that's enough. That'll give that. If you guys have any stories to tell, do you have to take showers? It's awful. Take showers in high school. I mean, in junior high or in high school either. They force you to do that. Ugh. Why? These guys will be walking around, like strutting around naked. Check it out. Like, oh my God, this is hell. I'm in hell. I've arrived in hell. Whew. But anyway, so if you have any stories, give me a call. 570-290-8151. I'd like to hear your gym class stories. I probably have a bunch more. I have some high school stories. I'll go next time. But I got a whole bunch of calls, and I'm already at the 30-minute mark. So this one's going to go long. I apologize for that. I don't know. I apologize to Zipp. Zipp's the one that has to edit this thing. This first call is from our old buddy Ian in Scotland, and here it is.
Hey Jeff, it's Ian in Scotland here. So, dishwashing, mate. Dishwashing. Let's talk rock and roll. I agree with your process, but I would suggest a minor change, and that is wash your glassware first. So I put a few drops of washing up liquid, one drop. I've noticed women in particular go nuts with the detergent, unnecessary foam. One drop of detergent in each glass. Get your sponge scrubber item. Build up a good foam in there, and then, so at this point I have no water in the basin, in the sink. Then hot water on, rinse, so you've washed your glasses with the with the foam scrubber thing, dishwasher. Now you rinse it off in the hot water, fill up your sink with that hot water that you've rinsed the glassware off with, and you can proceed to wash the rest of your items. There you go. This will change your life, believe me, and result in shiny, gleaming glassware. Top tip. Dishwashing suggestion number 2 for you. Why don't you just move your dishwasher, Jeff? If this is possible, it might just be the case of removing a few doors off your existing kitchen setup and moving the dishwasher closer to the sink, and then filling that space with the shell that was there, right, okay, I'm going to leave it there. This is more exhausting than I thought it would be. Dishwash talk is taking it out of me at the moment. Oh yeah, Facebook. Sorry, just one more thing. Facebook, face ass face. It's not so caustic across here as it seems to be across there. And yeah, if people are on there and they're getting political and annoying me, generally they will lose their standing in the cull. So once a year, roughly once a year, normally around Christmas time, I have a cull of Facebook friends, so-called friends. I'll just skip through them and say, I do not know this person. Culled, remove. So yeah, and that's quite fun. It can be quite cathartic, and always makes me feel good after the Facebook cull, the Christmas Facebook cull. I highly recommend it. Makes you feel great, and then you're left with all the nice people with no caustic comments. The most caustic of them all across here is Twitter or X, whatever it is. That just seems like a pot of vileness. And I remember a mate saying to me, "What? You're not on Twitter?" like this was his entire life. And I said, yeah, I'm not on Twitter. So, there you go, mate. Happy birthday, happy 62nd, and keep up the work. Okay, bye.
Okay, so you're saying I should do... Okay, that's interesting. I like doing the silverware first when we're dishwashing. You know, I like doing because that's the part I hate doing. That's the part I hate doing the most. So I do it first, just to get out of the way. But I can see doing the glasses. Maybe I'll investigate that. I'll look into that. I'll test it out and see how I like it. I like that one drop of detergent, and then you just for each glass, that'll probably make it spot free. You know, yeah. I mean, I'll test that out. I think my method's good. My method works. But you could flip-flop the glasses and the silverware. It wouldn't cause you any problems. I just like to get the silverware out of the way first because I hate it. It's the worst. I hate that. And there's always a bunch of silverware here. I don't know why. I don't know why there's always... It looks like... I go up there and I was like, did we have like a softball team come by when I wasn't here? Did you guys like feed an entire softball team? Why is there so much silverware in here? But, you think people use way too much detergent? I probably do. I probably use too much. I don't know. It's probably... I start running water in the sink and just squirt a big old batch of detergent in there. It's probably way too much. Probably way too much for your liking, Ian. You're right. This dishwashing talk's exhausting. You're right. Move the dishwasher? No way. I don't have any know-how. I don't know how to do that. Are you serious? I don't know how to do anything. I have no abilities. The only thing I'm good at is sarcastic remarks. You can't really... it's hard to market. It's hard to monetize that, Sarcastic remarks, I guess I'm a halfway decent manager. I don't know. It's not for me to decide. I can manage people, sorta, kinda. I'm not the greatest in the world. My boss left, by the way. She's gone. Ugh. Whew. I got a story to tell you about that, but I'll do it on the Patreon side. It caused a bunch of conflicting reaction inside of me all at the same time. I'll talk about that on the Patreon side. I don't want to put that out on the main network. But anyway, she's gone. I don't have the ability to move a dishwasher. Are you kidding me? I wouldn't know how to do that. And I have a feeling it would be very expensive to have it done. I don't know. We bought this house in 2000. It was built in 1966, and people come in here and like, who put this here? I said, I don't know, man. Somebody in 1966 when I was 3. Some man in 1966 did it when I was 3 years old. Had nothing to do with me. I don't know. I don't know. But I have no way to do that. No ability. I have no skills. Face ass. I like your idea about calling the herd. I don't really do that. In fact, I don't even when people send me friend requests, I don't ever respond to them. I got hundreds in there. Some of them are people I never heard of before. A lot of them are people at work. I don't accept any of them. It's nothing personal. I just don't. I do have some friends from work on there. But I don't think it's a good idea. Especially when you're in management. But it's just something I steer clear of. But and then there's people from like I have a bunch of friends on there from back in the Dunbar days and whatever. But I think I've hit a wall. I don't accept anymore. I don't know. Again, I don't. It's not something that I care enough about. I just don't care enough. I care too much. No, that's my favorite. That's my favorite answer. What's one of your job interview? What's your one of your something? What is the word I'm looking for? Whatever. Forget it. Anyway, my brain has gone blank. But anyway, I think I might. You say you have a Christmas calling of your Facebook. It's not. The thing about that is, it's not really people I know. Although some of them are annoying. Some of the people that I follow are kind of annoying sometimes. Mostly with the political stuff. But it's mostly like if you go like I follow like baseball websites or accounts, and then there's some news on there, and they're on there like Reds, Cincinnati Reds, like I said, the Reds, and all these people. I don't know who these people are. These aren't followers of mine. They're not friends of mine. It's just people reacting to something that somebody posted on this Reds account. And they're like, and they start going into this, it doesn't matter, this team sucks, they've always sucked, they're always going to suck, blah, 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 blah. The front office is, all this stuff. That's what I'm talking about. It's not really people it's not people that are friends of mine. It's just people that are reacting. Anyway, I might start calling. I like the idea of a purge. Might have to do that. I might go in there and just purge the shit out of my Facebook account. Or maybe I'll just shut it down. Thanks for calling in. I appreciate it. Call back anytime. This next call is from producer Zipp. Here it is.
Hey, Jeff K. This is Zipp. Wishing you a belated 62nd birthday. You were talking about, I guess being old. Well, you didn't say you were old, but, 62. Anyway, they got me thinking about other famous 62-year-old people, like what company you keep. So there's actually a website called Famous Birthdays. And did you know that Tom Cruise and Jim Carrey are 62? There's actually quite a few people on this list I'm surprised at. Axl Rose, Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, MC Hammer. You share good company. Hold on, there's one more on here that surprised me. Oh, Jon Stewart from The Daily Show. Anyway, and then you talked about, like, when you were younger, you thought, like, 37 was going to be super old. Well, I'm 35, and the one that I always thought about when I was younger that I've got coming up on me, because I'm not saying 35 is old, but was 38. And that's because in The Simpsons, I've watched The Simpsons my whole life. I'm actually Maggie's age. If Maggie was a real human and actually grew, I think it's almost the exact same age as Maggie's supposed to be. Homer Simpson is 38 in the show, in most reiterations of the timeline. And that's just always messed with my head, is that when I'm 38, I'm going to be the same age as Homer. And I've spent my whole life watching Homer. And within 4 years, I'm going to be older than Homer. Messes with me. And I'm balding, but whatever. So anyway, happy belated. Let's see. Oh, Demi Moore, Tommy Lee. Tommy Lee is 62. Wow. Anyway, have a good one. Later.
Zip, that actually makes me feel a little bit better. It does. Because that list of people you said are 62 years old, I don't really think of any of them as being, like, old. I mean, Jon Stewart looks like he's old because he has all that facial hair now. And it's all white. I mean, he looks like an old man. That's just because of he has a beard and stuff, but it's all gray. But I don't really think of him as old. I certainly don't think of Tom Cruise and Jim Carrey as old. Shit, Tom Cruise is still hanging off a rope on a helicopter doing those Mission Impossible movies. Does his own stunts. It's like dangling off an airplane. He's like standing on the wing of an airplane or something. I don't think of him as old. I think of him as short, but I don't think of him as old. Flea, MC Hammer, I don't know about that. I don't know. He seems old. That doesn't really help the case. Axl Rose, I mean, he looks hideous, and his voice sounds like I don't know, like a some terrible animal, some kind of something's being attacked. An animal's being attacked in the backyard. But I don't really think of these people as old. Tommy Lee, Demi Moore. It helps me a little bit. Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't think of these people as they're not old. Do you agree? That helped me out. And the Simpsons thing, I don't know. So Homer's supposed to be 38. I didn't know that. That makes sense, I guess. I don't know. It seems like he should be a little bit older. But I hear what you're saying. So if you pass in a few years, you're going to pass Homer Simpson's age. That's going to be difficult for you. Yeah, if you've been watching that show all your life, I understand that. I understand. I have weird hang-ups about stuff. I told you, I watch Perry Mason. Don't be, I know I'm not helping myself with this I'm an old man thing, but I really like that. I like Perry Mason. I always liked it. And it's on that Freevee, whatever that is, one of those free streaming services. This one's owned by Amazon. It has every episode. Well, it has most episodes on there for free. You can watch them. And I watch them in order. It's taken me, I think I'm in season 7. It's taken me a few years. It's not something I do. I don't watch it every day, but I watch it every once in a while. And I look at the people in there on the show, and I pick out people who are old, like old people, or people I think that are roughly my age. And then I go to IMDb and I look them up and see what year they were born and compare them, and they're always way younger. It's like a guy, like an old man, some guy playing an old man. He's not playing an old man. It's not like they have him like made up. He's an old man, And then you look it up, and he's like, he was like 42 at the time. It's like 20 years younger than I am. God. I don't know. I mean, people aged. Everybody's smoking and drinking martinis back in those days. People didn't live, like 71 if they were lucky. They'd be, people didn't have their life expectancy. God. In fact, all those guys on there died. Like Hamburger, the Hamilton Burger, the prosecutor. It's always battling Perry in the in his cases. He died young. Paul Drake, his private investigator, died young from cigarettes. Both of them had lung cancer. People aged. I mean, God, really fast. A lot of them probably been in war. Probably a lot of them have been in World War II. Saw atrocities. I mean, even worse things than I experienced, in my gym classes. I mean, it's hard to imagine, but they might have even seen things even worse than I did. I don't know. Everybody looked old back in those days. So anyway, thanks for the call. Zipp, I appreciate it. Call me back anytime you'd like. This next call, I got my notes here. This next call is from our buddy Clinton. Here you go.
Hi, Jeff. This is Clinton from Indiana. Hey, I'm sorry I missed your special day, so belated happy birthday. Here's to many more. We also passed Thanksgiving, and I wanted to say thanks to you for you had a colonoscopy several months ago and gave us the whole rundown of it. You took a lot of mystery out of the process. My doctor had been bugging me to get one, and I don't have a family history or anything, so I thought, I'll just put it off. But after hearing yours, it's like, you know what, this sounds all right. Jeff can do it, I can do it. And went through the process. Sure enough, everything's clean as a whistle, no issues. And in fact, you talk about those pictures they give you to look at afterwards. My wife and I are looking at them, and you can about hear the wind whistling through that cavern in those pictures. So anyway, so in the spirit of Thanksgiving, thanks very much for that. And looking ahead to the next to Christmas, people like shitting all over certain holiday songs and music and things. Oh, I hate this, I hate that. So maybe instead, can you give us your like top 5, holiday Christmas songs, ones you look forward to hearing every year? So Thanks for that. Merry Christmas, and have a great 2025. Thank you.
Thank you for the birthday wishes. I appreciate it. And thanks to all three of you so far. All of you said happy birthday. I appreciate that. The colonoscopy, yeah. See, I'm saving lives. I'm doing a service out here. I'm glad I could help in that regard. I'm a little worried about it. I'm a little worried about my colonoscopy because they said in 1 year we want you to come back in here because we found a polyp. In like 1 year. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm not going to say a word about it. Needless to say, I'm not going to bring it up. But hopefully the doctor won't. If that place, the place that actually did the procedure to me, if they send me like a postcard or something, it's time for another colonoscopy, another probe, that shit's going straight in the trash. The only way I'm going to do it is if my doctor tells me you need to do that again. Hopefully he won't. Hopefully, because I'm going to see him in the spring. I'm hoping he doesn't say you need to go in there and get your ass probed again, get pumped full of air, and all that. The indignity of it all. And your balls are touching the table, laying in there. There's a bunch of nurses around. It's freezing cold. I don't know what the hell's going on. It was terrible. When I think back on it, I'm glad I could inspire you, Clinton, to do it. You said if Jeff can do it, that's right. If I can do it, anybody can do it because I was a bundle of nerves. It was terrible. And it turned out it wasn't even that big of a deal. Well, the prep, everybody says the prep's the worst. The procedure's not that big of a deal. The prep was basically easier than I thought it was going to be. Everybody had that played up. Everybody said that's one of the worst things, Yeah, it wasn't that big of a deal. I mean, I was squirting. I was squirting, all evening, but it wasn't like you're in there. People are like saying, you're sitting on the toilet just crying, praying for the Lord to take you now. It's like that never happened. Like every once in a while I'd be like, oh God, I got to go. And I'd go in there and it would be like pure liquid, just shooting out like a garden hose. But then it would end and you go back and watch TV again, It's not like you're sitting there like for hours on end, sitting on the toilet, screaming and in pain and agony. People are ridiculous. But the procedure wasn't good. I mean, the actual procedure wasn't that big of a deal, but the whole thing where you're laying naked from the waist down on a table, and there's nurses around, and they're looking straight down the barrel, and then you got to lay down on your side, and next thing you know, you're awake, and I don't know, I didn't enjoy any of it. I didn't find it. I found that the procedure was very, very stressful. And then I felt like garbage afterwards. I think I just needed to let out a gigantic atomic fart. I think that's what it was. I think there was like a bunch of air in there and it was like trapped. There was like a vapor lock. I just needed to just lay on my side. And that's what eventually happened. I just went upstairs when I got home and laid on my side. I changed positions at one point. And it was like like Hiroshima, It was like just like gale force wind, loud, prolonged, event. And then I felt good. And I went to sleep, woke up, felt great. I'm glad. They show you those pictures. Oh God, he goes, here's the polyp. It wasn't even a big one, That's the thing. Why do I have to go back in a year? Why do I have to go back in a year? He said it wasn't even that big, So, I don't know. Hopefully I won't have to do it. I'll do it in 3 years. That sounds more reasonable. My favorite Christmas songs, I don't know. I don't really have any. There's plenty of them I hate, like you say. The ones I like the most are the classic ones, like the big band era, like Bing Crosby, those old classics from like the 60s and before. I like that original Elvis Christmas album. That shit's classic. I mean, I like some of the modern. I like that Kinks album or that Kinks song called "Father Christmas." That's a good song. I don't know. I like that song by the Waitresses, that Christmas rapping or something. Is that what it's called? I mean, I don't really. I can't really. There's not really. I like mostly I like the classics from the 40s, 50s. That's the kind of stuff I like. I don't like that stuff. Some diva where they're just screaming. I hate that kind of stuff, like Whitney Houston type, where it sounds like a car alarm's going off. That stuff makes me crazy. But I don't really. I don't really. I'm not a big fan of any of it, to tell you the truth. But I don't have any problem. I kind of enjoy the classics, the big band era, and that kind of thing. 40s, 50s stuff. Nat King Cole, that's the kind of stuff I like. Thank you for calling, Clinton, and I'm glad that I'm glad that the wind was whistling through the cavern and you had no problems. And I appreciate you calling. Call back anytime. And our last call is from this is going to be memorable. Is our buddy Jason in Austin. Here it is.
Hey, Jeff K. And hey, America, this is Jason Yetma from the People's Democratic Republic of Austin, Texas. This town died about a month ago, man. I don't know what the hell's going on. Nobody laying in the street to block traffic. Nobody throwing goat's blood on paintings. I don't know what the hell. It's a mystery. But enough about that shit. It's December. Winter's upon us. You wouldn't know it's almost winter in Austin based on the weather. But if you could see a live feed of the people around here, women in particular, you'd think we were in the middle of a polar vortex. You'd see women with foxes hanging around their necks, rubbing their hands together, and men in Speedos walk around in the background. Not me. I'm in a thong, fishnet thong. I wear it backwards. I don't want anybody to see my ass. So the women in the office, especially fat-ass Marcy, dressed like they're climbing Everest or standing in eastern Antarctica, they're dragging space heaters, electric blankets, rechargeable socks, and all kinds of shit in here. And Marcy comes in with fucking ski poles, and there's another girl that wears great mounds of fur she drags around the floor. It's fucking ridiculous. It's 70 degrees here, man, 70. I don't get it. It's like they're trying to will the cold to come. And for sure they're not cold. We're talking about some very beefy women. Marcy would field dress about 450. So it's not that she's cold. I don't get it. About 4 o'clock in the afternoon, they shed all this shit. They finally give up on the idea because they're just so hot, obviously, because it's 70. They're wearing 7-8 layers. And it looks like the living room floor at Christmas morning every day about 4 or 5 o'clock, and I'm completely fed up with these broads. Sick of it. I'm starting to get worked up. I guess I'll leave it at that. I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas. Bye.
Okay. Well, once again, Jason, you blew my mind. Yep, you had so many great lines in that thing. I'll just let it stand. But I understand what you're saying about people who overstep the temperature, the weather. There's people here. I mean, we have all 4 seasons here. It's not like Austin. I've never been to Austin, but I've been. I know what you're. I've been to Texas. I just haven't been to Austin. So we have all 4 seasons up here, and there are people like as soon as you come in. The first day where it's not freezing cold, people are wearing cargo shorts, flip-flops, And then on the other side too, as soon as we start getting a little bit of fall, like there's like just a slight little fallness in the air, people are wearing like winter coats and stuff. Like what in the hell? Yesterday it was 72. I mean, it's a little early for the winter coats. All right, it's ridiculous. It's like like season jumpers. They're jumping from season to season. They're pushing it. I don't like it. I understand what you're saying, and fat ass fat ass Marcy. She's a recurring character. I love it. Yeah. Another great call, Jason. I appreciate that. Hilarious. But I know what you're saying about these. You guys probably, it's a little different because you don't have all the 4 seasons. We have season jumpers, and it's annoying. It's like freezing cold, but it's not quite as It goes from like it's 43 degrees out instead of 26. It's people wearing like shorts and flip-flop sandals. It's not that warm, Whistle Dick. It's not. Quit trying to jump seasons. Quit trying to go too early on the seasons. I understand what you're saying, and I appreciate your call, Jason. That's hilarious as usual. I urge all you guys to call me back whenever you want to, and I urge everybody else to call back or call in for the first time. Whatever the situation is. Whatever the situation is. The number 570-290-8151. And if you want 2 episodes instead of a measly 1 a weekish. I'm on a pretty good roll right now, but I try for every week. But every time I published an episode on the main network, a couple days later, there's a bonus episode for patrons only. That's people who sign up for a $4 or more donation at patreon.com. It's Patreon, patreon.com/Jeff K. It helps me out a great deal, and you get an extra episode every week, not every once in a while. That's for suckers. And there's a whole bunch of them already in there. As soon as you sign up, you have access to the ones I've already recorded. There's hundreds of them, at least 200 bonus episodes that you can listen to whenever you wanna. That's right, whenever you wanna. So do it today, and double down on the Surf Report. Patreon.com/Jeff K. And also, surfreportpod.com is the web home of the podcast. I post expanded show notes, pictures, links, support materials, stuff I talk about. It's a value-added service. So if you want to check that out as well, surfreportpod.com. And we're at the end of this thing. I apologize, Zipp. This is very long, but anyway, I apologize. So, anyway, until next time, which will be over on the Patreon side, I hope you guys have yourselves a fine day. I'll see you. Bye.
I wear it backwards. I don't want anybody to see my ass.